I'm the father of Ernesto Ramirez Jr. Jr. received his first dose of the Pfizer vaccine April 19th, 2021. 5 days later, while playing basketball, Jr. suddenly he collapsed and died right in front of his best friend. The paramedics worked on my son, but they couldn't do anything about it. The day my world ended, Junior's autopsy showed that he had myocarditis. Junior was a healthy boy who loved playing baseball, video games with his friends, enjoyed the outdoors. He loved fishing. He was the best son a father could ask for. He was my best friend. But when Junior was born, the world changed to the best for me. I took role of being his father with so much pride. He was the center of my life. We were not rich, but everything we had was enough to get us through. When the news came out, when the media and the government, that there was safe for an effective vaccine, we were told that everyone needed it to get the vaccine for our health and to stop the spread. I decided to do the right thing and keep my son safe. This turned out to be the worst decision in my life. Suddenly my son was dead, and I was planning his funeral. 7 months later, after FEMA contacted me and asked me to change the cause of death to my son to COVID so that they could help me financially, I told them I would never do that. I would definitely never disrespect my son in that way.
I actually just interviewed Ernest Ramirez, and he's the single dad whose son was murdered by the shots, and we were talking last night, and he has this epic story. I mean, you just can't help but listen to him out without tears pouring out of your eyes. And the thing that was so appalling about this, Bernadette, it's gonna air on my radio show, Energetic Health Radio, next weekend. But it amounts to this. You have a grieving father who's just lost his son. They wouldn't let him get on the ambulance to go in with his son to the hospital. They come out and tell him his son is dead. Okay. He goes home and he has to scrape together whatever money he can to produce a funeral. He does that. And then in February, they, which is about 6 months later, FEMA contacts him and says, listen, if you'll change the death certificate, if you'll change it to say that he died because of COVID, we'll give you some money. And he said, no, I won't do that. I'm not going to lie on a government document for blood money. They contacted him. He has the emails, Bernadette. He's going to send them over to me, and some attorneys already have them. Wow. They contacted him a second time. This is a grieving father who's lost everything he loves. I mean, this was his pride and joy, his life. And while he's grieving, they tried it a second time and said, listen, have you changed your mind? We'll give you some money if you just change the death certificate to say COVID. That's beyond fraud at that time. That's beyond criminal data fraud. That's now into coercion. Okay. And when we're talking about things like this, even one account of that is horrific and has to be investigated. But the question has to become, how many other times has that occurred?